Hey, this is going to be commentary for chapter 63 of my book, Method Dimensional, which you can find on Kindle or listen to for free as an audiobook, and the links are in the description. So chapter 63 is called Confirmation. Okay, so continuing from the previous chapter, I made some quite radical claims that the theory has its problems, but it's necessary. Now, it's necessary, or we're gonna lose many of the gains that we have achieved because of things that the theory shows. Now, you can say, no, we don't. You're wrong. I just don't know why you're wrong, but you're wrong. And because you're wrong, then we don't need to do any of that. We don't even need to publicize this theory. You don't need to do anything. You can just live it like that. It was fun or it was interesting, but this is where it ends. It's not going to be any consequences. Not going to be any great reveal. It's not necessary. It's not problematic. It's just wrong, and we don't know why, but it's wrong. So, and to that, I understand the concern, and I cannot tell you right now that you're wrong thinking that. But maybe that's what this theory needs, and this is what this chapter is about. What if it was possible to prove that the theory is true, or to confirm that the theory is true? Then you wouldn't be able to say, yeah, we don't need to grapple with this thing. You're wrong. You couldn't do that anymore, right? Then, yeah, you'd have to grapple with it. You could say, no one knows about this, but you couldn't say that if everybody didn't know about it, they wouldn't have to grapple with the consequences of this. So now, okay, so the good thing for you, if you, assuming that you doubt this theory, is that you cannot prove this theory. And why? Well, first, on the most fundamental level, it's a theory in metaphysics, and you can't prove metaphysics. Or you can prove any principle of physics too. You just can show that evidence has shown so far that things are like that or like this. But what this theory actually says is that all the evidence that you can ever measure will change. So it kind of the thought of using evidence to prove it like you would do in science kind of doesn't work if you're going to prove the theory. And at the best, you're going to confirm that it holds, but you won't actually prove it. You will confirm that it seems to be true to the best of our knowledge so far. I don't think you can actually prove things that you already agree on, and it's just like extrapolation of the logical inference. Like if I say A, if A then B, then if A, and I see A, then I can apply logical inference and get to B. Modus ponens, but I'm not actually proving B. I already proven it. It's like it comes by itself, by me assuming A then B and assuming A. Anyway, I already agreed to it. I just didn't know that I agreed to it. But this is the different thing. Here there is an axiom, a new axiom, the axiom that experience is fundamental, and that's also the axiom of the rejection of solipsism, which is kind of less contentious, but the axiom that experience is fundamental is contentious. So you don't accept the axiom, and there is no way to get to the axiom. If there was, there wouldn't be a need for an axiom. But that doesn't mean it's a lost cause. Look, it's not that I need to prove that the theory is true to some objective arbiter that is outside of reality, outside of space-time, outside of everything. That's not who I need to prove it. If you believe the theory already, I don't need to prove anything to you. What I need to do, what this theory requires, a confirmation, is one that will show to people that believe the counter argument, specifically the people that believe in physicalism, that if they want to retain more what let's say the achievement they achieve through physicalism, through science, if they want that, then assuming the theory would be the way for them to preserve the science they established so far. That it's the safer choice for them. For someone who doesn't believe, if you're to show to a physicalist that if you want to keep all the things that you believe are true, then the theory is better than assuming that it's not true, that the theory isn't true, because then you really are stuck in something that your entire model of reality crumbles. With the theory, you get to keep your model for reality, but it's not it's not exactly what you thought it is, but it's still working. You can still use it. You can still explore. Science doesn't end. Science continues. It just has to adapt. And so now the task is just to find something that would persuade scientists and physicalists that this theory is true, while the assumption that it is not, that experience is being generated by physical processes, is wrong. Or that if because you got to some kind of realization through the theory that physicalism would never let you achieve, then you say, okay, it seems like this theory is more correct than its contenders. So what you want to, like, and specifically, what would be that kind of stuff that would really push people over the edge to actually believe the theory? Well, it would need to be something that would challenge the whole notion that reality is consistent, physicalist and consistent, that the principle of mathematics work on it. And that it is experience that did the difference. Now this is an issue. Like you have, for example, the double slit experiment, which shows things that don't make any sense. But there's one thing that it doesn't show. It doesn't show that experience was the thing that did it. You say a measurement, you can also say your eyes, your brain, the physicality of it changed the result of the thing being measured. You cannot prove that it is intentionality. You need to make it so that it is the experiential aspect of it, and nothing else that has been used to produce the evidence that would compel physicalists to prefer this theory over its rejection. This is going to use something called experiential trails, something that I explained in the previous chapter, this ability to perceive reality from both the point of origin and the destination. It's a connection between otherwise incoherent realities. That, like, for example, the memories from a dream, but not just. And the more specific explanation, well, that comes in the next chapter.